We set out from Minerva Reef with about 30 other boats. Boats whose names we knew because we had seen them for weeks in anchorages with us and on our AIS navigation systems. Every night there was communication between the boats, and Captain Sam would help organize a radio net. Some of the communication would go like this. "This is Tim on Pekeliloa. Who's out there?" To which Peter would answer, "Sailmore!" And Sam would say, "Yeah." And Nikki on Sailmore would answer, "Oh, Sam, your voice is so hypnotic." And so the Armada went. Sailing from Minerva, we had about 750 miles to go to get to New Zealand. The first few days out from Minerva were still rough and windy. The wind and the waves meant that the boat was heeled over at about 30 degrees, making it hard to cook, hard to steer, and for some, hard to do much of anything. But we made progress. We sailed onward, and it wasn't long before we were leaving the Western Hemisphere and entering the Eastern Hemisphere. We sailed constantly, and someone had to be on watch at all times, night or day. We ran 2.5-hour shifts, sometimes trading so we could see different times, whether it be night or sunrise. Sailing in the night was a particular wonder because the sky was without a moon during that time. Without moonlight, we saw lots of shooting stars, and it was as if the boat was sailing in the night itself. You couldn't see any reflection off of the passing waves. To keep morale high on board, our resident sexy kitchen wizard Samrick prepared some ice cream for us, peppermint, chocolate, and vanilla, and he often spoon-fed us such sweet flavors. Who wouldn't want to be spoon-fed by that hunk? The captain did his duty to feed us as well, snatching fish right from the air. Any passing flying fish would, oh no, end up in the frying pan. So we carried on sailing, moving at a good 7.6 knots. And during this time, Jerry the autopilot was officially retired and replaced with a bungee cord, which kept the boat balanced into the wind like a weather vane. This was fortunate that we were fore-reaching, so we could stay our course at 30 to 40 degrees off the wind without a hand on the wheel. And in the meantime, the crew had book club on board in which we read Wild and The Kite Runner. On the 5th day out, the wind stopped. The sea was perfectly placid, a mirror to the sky, and without the sails, we had to motor on. It was so calm, though, that we decided to stop the boat in 12,000-foot depth of water and go for a swim. And Laura charmed us all by showing us her butt. After another day and a half of motor sailing south, we finally had New Zealand on the horizon. On the morning of Thursday, November 7th, we sailed into the Bay of Islands. We raised our yellow courtesy flag to alert the biosecurity and customs officials of our arrival. They came on board, they checked out the boat. Charles, the biosecurity officer, gave us the official, "There's a lot of cool shit on this boat." And then we could take the courtesy flag down. We were officially admitted in. We had arrived in New Zealand. Hooray.